Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot, hopefully your favorite DarkTide partner, and I know you're not used to seeing me in a beanie, but the weather's a bit colder, so here I am in one. Now, what I'm going to be talking about in this video, alright, is the current situation of DarkTide. Here's the situation. The recent patch, okay, has shown that RNG is still a huge problem. It's such a problem, alright, and people don't even realize that RNG is the problem here. It's such a problem that as soon as anything is nerfed or changed, you know, all that time you spend crafting that perfect weapon taken away from you, instant review bombing on Steam, you know, tantrums all around, bad reactions. Which means that the game is not really free to balance. In fact, I, myself, have stated in videos I am against nerfs at this current point in time. Let me explain why. Okay, let's take a look at the current situation, okay? I'm gonna have to use the Steam charts. Now, this is not the analysis video, alright? I said I was gonna do that next week. After a full week after the patch, that's when you're gonna get that video, so this is not that. This video is merely to explain some statistics and also show the current situation. If we were to look right now at the Steam charts for DarkTide, okay, on average, we get about, you know, at our peaks, on most of the weekdays, about 6k, 6.2k. How much does Vermintide get? Around 5k. You know, the difference is marginal. In fact, right now we have 4,154 playing DarkTide, 4,065 playing Vermintide. Okay? This means that DarkTide is not a significant improvement for Vermintide, and for a game that is new, we're not really attracting as many people as we should. We should be attracting more. Okay? How do we do this? Alright? This is the current situation. Alright? What is the problem? And how do we attract more people? First, let's get into the problem. The problem with the game right now, and this is a sentiment that's been echoed by players on Reddit. I've taken a look at some Reddit threads and lots of other YouTubers, you know, although I disagree with some of them with their fake ass viewership numbers. A lot of other YouTubers have also gone full doom and gloom mode, but one thing that they say is very consistent and very true. DarkTide has a serious RNG problem. I may dislike these people, but the sentiment that they express is actually quite true. How does DarkTide have an RNG problem? Well, let's take a look at statistics and numbers first, because it's meaningless to do it without understanding the numbers. Okay. First and foremost, you need to roll a weapon, right? Assuming you want really great stats on a weapon, you either have to hope for one to pop up in the store, okay, which is RNG per hour. Usually not the best way. The best way is RNG with your ordo dockets, okay? And it usually, like, let's say I want the Ulysses Mark V Blaze Sword, and I want it to have fantastic stats. Each roll is going to cost me 10,000 ordo dockets, okay? Now, I am going to have to usually roll between 10 to 20 times in order to get one sword that has really great stats. 10 to 20 times is going to cost me, on average, okay, let's just put the figure in the middle, 150,000 ordo dockets. How long does it take to earn 150,000 ordo dockets? Assuming that you are capable of playing Damnation, alright, are you starting to see how many assumptions there are here? Okay, assuming you are capable of playing Damnation and not even thinking about extra conditions, okay, a normal Damnation mission is going to net you 19,950 ordo dockets. Let that number sink in. With conditions like high intensity hunting grounds, you're at 39,900. But the average Damnation mission, okay, is going to net you 19,950 ordo dockets. This is without any conditions attached, okay? Now, let's divide 150,000 ordo dockets by 19,950. You have to run 7.5 Damnation missions, assuming no additional conditions, in order to roll one weapon and hopefully get really good stats on it. Of course, RNG may favor you, so maybe you only need 5 rolls. That's a profit, right? RNG may not favor you. You might need 25 rolls. What you gonna do then? Are you starting to see the problem, guys? Okay, 7.5, but let's talk numbers that we have already measured. 7.5 damnation missions in order to roll the perfect stats on the weapon. Okay, how long on average does a damnation mission take? Ask yourself that. I play live solo queue damnation, okay? Each damnation mission, even if we rounded it down to 7 missions, because I often play with like conditions, things like that, okay. Each one is gonna take me, even with good teams, on average, some missions have gone 40 minutes, some missions a bit faster at 26 minutes, you know, on average, it takes me about 33 to 34 minutes. Let's set that on the higher scale. On average, 34 minutes to complete a damnation mission, all right? And it's gonna take you 7 damnation runs. That's 238 minutes. How much is 238 minutes? 238 minutes divided by 60, that is 4 hours of gameplay to roll one perfectly statted weapon. And that's assuming all runs are successes. You starting to see how that is adding up? Okay, we're gonna pause the recording right now. Okay, well not right now, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually physically roll, okay, for a high stat Illicit. My current ordo dockets are 1,220,000. Let's see how much it's gonna cost me to actually roll a really great Illicit. Let's take a look now. Okay, ladies and gents, in order to roll this Illicit up here, which has 377 base stats, okay, I was right on the money. It took me exactly 11 rolls. All right, you can see my ordo docket count is now 1,110,000. Each Illicit cost me 10,000, so that was 110,000 ordo dockets that I just spent, all right, to roll my perfectly statted Illicit. Now, of course, you're gonna recoup some of that by, you know, just discarding the others. But now here's the second layer of RNG, which is the other problem. You can only refine one perk and one blessing. The other one gets locked. So now, although I've just spent all this money to roll my damn near perfect Illicit, I have to pray to RNGesus that we get good rolls. Let's actually take a look at material costs, okay? Now, I'm going to I start out with 4,193 plasteel, 7,300. Let's remove diamantine from the equation because you will always have access to diamantine. In fact, Fatshark, here's another thing. Please give us a way to convert diamantine into plasteel because I don't need useless diamantine. I need plasteel. Nobody gives a shit about diamantine. Okay, we always have too much. Plasteel costs are still too damn high. All right, so now this is my perfectly statted Illicit. Let's start consecrating it up. Okay, and we'll take a look at the final figures. 4,119 is my beginning. Okay, I'm just gonna note that down. And what am I gonna end on? Let's just consecrate and not worry too much. Oh, deflector 3. Okay, that's the perfect thing that I wanted on it. 8 melee weak spot damage. Uncanny strike, which is gonna get swapped to slaughterer, and add in the re-bless cost. Okay, oh, I don't have slaughterer 4 yet. Why do I not have slaughterer 4? Okay, this is uncool. I can't believe I still need that. And if there was some refine cost, like let's say we want to refine this, all right, we'd have to pay an additional cost. But even just re-blessing, okay, and now my deflector is locked, even if I was just re-blessing this, okay, we just went from 4,193 plasteel down to 2,654. How much plasteel did it cost me to take it from gray? And this is with really good RNG. As you can see, the RNG, you know, the RNG Emperor is kind of my patron right here. Okay, 2,654. It just cost me 1,539 plasteel. Okay, 1,539 plasteel. On average, in a damnation mission, assuming your team properly goes and collects plasteel, you should be getting around 600 plasteel per mission. Okay, with completely random teams, I found that that's a very feasible number. So effectively, this is going to take me, in order to roll this, it's going to take me, okay, roughly 3 damnation missions. That's less than the amount of ordo dockets I need. All right, so how much is the average time cost? If you think about all these factors, now considering the fact that you are going to be playing some high intensity damnations, some conditional damnations, right? You're not always going to have just the baseline. All right. In order to earn the amount of order dockets and plasteel figures that you need to roll your perfect rolls and all that other stuff, okay, on average, you will be able to create a totally new weapon. All right. Now, the calculation for this is a bit wild, so I'm just not going to go through it. I'm just going to give you the figure that I arrived at. It roughly takes about 2.5 hours. So roughly about 2/3 of the normal time that I stream DarkTide, all right, is when I can roll. So I usually get about 2 rolls per entire stream session, especially if we've had a lot of successes during the day, doing high intensity stuff, which I really like in solo queue. I roll about 2 weapons per day to try and get some of the, you know, tier 4s blessings that I still don't have. You know, that's how much it's taking you on average. But that, if you guys remember some of the other videos that I looked at, okay, the ideal should be that a person should be able to get some good stuff for themselves within one session. And one gameplay session is 2 to 3 hours of free time per day. That is assuming all the Damnation runs are successes. What about people that can't play Damnation? You see, this is where the nerfs and the changes have been a problem, because if they have spent, let's say, 2-3 hours per day over several days getting their perfect weapon, okay, because of all the RNG factors that we've just discussed, shown, demonstrated, and then a nerf takes that away, people are going to be pissed. People are going to be very pissed, and that's why I can understand the reaction to the nerfs. We do not have a very large player base right now on DarkTide, so we kind of are struggling with player numbers, and we want to keep the player base as happy as possible, as well as attracting new blood. If we don't cater to the casual experience, this is not going to happen. So, what is the solution? I'm sure this is the part you guys have been really waiting for. What is the real solution here? Okay, I'm going to give a simple solution, and it's not the total removal of RNG. I am sure that many of you can have any number of reasons for RNG, all right? What I'm going to tell you straight up is that there is one simple solution here that will make players happy, and also it will not take away too much of the so-called challenge of the game. Dear Fatshark, I hope you listen to me when I say this, but please don't lock the blessings and don't lock the perks. I understand why you did it. In fact, when you first released this, the reroll stuff, I mentioned to people, you know, they're doing this because it's obvious that, you know, it would make the game a bit too easy, you know, to an extent, if you could reroll both and there would be less grind. But you know what? I've come to realize that less grind is a good thing. Let's bring in more players first before we even worry about the grind. And as you guys get in more players, you guys will be able to release more content, more revenue for the company, more content, more stuff that you guys can do, and then that'll translate to the fact that you can therefore go a bit wilder. There are other ways to introduce grinds. You can introduce other game modes. You can introduce other things. There have been many great suggestions about this, and I will happily discuss this with you guys. But as your partner, I advise you guys right now, please, unless you can tell me, or if anyone who watches this video can tell me that there is a very good reason that blessings and perks should be locked, other than it would make the grind too easy. Okay, take that out of your minds. Okay, give me an honest answer. Give me a real reason why perks and blessings should be locked. Because if we give people full customization over their weapons, even if somebody rolls a god, like so somebody, they spend the RNG to roll a god tier weapon, okay, they now have full agency over that weapon. One blessing is nerfed, fine, they can change it around. And if the nerfed blessing is a locked blessing, they are screwed right now. That is why people are pissed. Okay, that's why the simple solution that I'm going to suggest to you guys, very simple, I'm going to give it to you straight. Please, dear God, remove the locking of the blessings and perks. Give people full agency over the customization of their weapons, and if they have a really good sword, their dream sword, okay, and, you know, they want to use it, but suddenly something gets nerfed or changed, they can still do so. Let me give you an example. Mike, do you know why I rolled an illicit? Because my previous illicit has Slaughterer and Executor. I happened to roll for the Slaughterer blessing, which was the crucial blessing back when Deflector was bugged on these, right? So you had Deflector baseline. Now here's the other issue. I had Deflector baseline, so I kept Executor, but now Deflector is not baseline, so I need an Illicity with Deflector for my Guncyker build, which relies a little bit on that. So I had to re-roll another Illicity to get Deflector, and also Slaughterer, which I was very lucky to roll. If I didn't roll this, I'd have to roll another one, spending more auto dockets, spending more plasteel, and spending another 3-4 hours farming the game just to get the amount of materials that I need to do this. Okay? This is the problem, and this is why people are angry. People are angry because they spend the time to create their perfect weapon. It's costing them time, and one single balance patch, one single nerf takes all of that away straight away. Do you understand me on this, Fatshark? This is the problem. RNG is not extending the life of your game. It is keeping the hardcore fans invested as they chase their stuff, but it's not going to keep the casual players invested. They're going to get bored, they're going to move on, and there's a lot of choice in the market. Let's be fair about that. Okay? I'm your partner, but I'm not your sycophant. I am not here to make you guys feel good about yourselves. I'm here to tell you the real. I'm here to give you the criticism that you guys need. All right? Unless anybody in chat, in the comments of this video can give me a damn good reason why these blessings and perks should be locked, and I will happily make a video if you can give me a serious reason why they should remain locked, okay? And we should only be able to switch one at any one point in time. Unless you can give me a real good reason for that, I will happily apologize on video, all right, or on stream, whichever one you want, if you can give me a good, genuine reason for this. But if you cannot, all right, then I feel that this is a change that we need to push through, guys. This isn't Vermintide. This is DarkTide. It's its own game. Let's not be tied down by the past. Let's not be tied down by any ideals or, you know, preconceptions that we already have. Okay, forget all that. Let's talk real results, okay? One thing which would make this game a lot greater right now is giving players full agency over the customization of their weapon. Therefore, even if they spend 3-4 hours just to roll that perfectly statted weapon, all right, with all their auto dockets, okay, assuming they have to solo queue, because what if they don't have friends? What if they don't have friends? What if they, you know, they're not comfortable with interacting or building up crews and squads? Some people are like that. I'm not. I'm like that. I'm a streamer and I'm antisocial, right? So give them the agency to be free. That's all I'm asking you guys. If they've spent that time to roll that weapon, then that weapon should not be invalidated by a nerf. It can be, that way you can also make nerfs and changes as you need without completely destroying somebody's hard work. That person can say, okay, this thing got nerfed, fine, but the stats on my weapon are still great. I can now change my perks around. Okay, maybe this perk would be better. And it gives them freedom. It doesn't lock them in. What you've done is if you've locked people into a particular build, you change that build, they have to start from the ground over again. It is no fun to be sent back to square one. Okay? So I hope this video has been informative. This is something I've been wanting to do for a little while. And like I said, a lot of people have complained about this, a lot of players. I've seen a lot of people talk about this. And honestly, I think that this is the core issue. Why are we locking people into their builds? Give them full freedom and agency, and I'm telling you, more people will play this game, more people will be interested in this game because they don't feel boxed in. Their hard work pays off. And as they collect, and sure, they still have to collect blessings and stuff, but they can have their god tier weapon and adjust it as and when needed so that they can keep up with whatever changes you make. This is important, okay? This is very important. Thank you very much for watching this video. I know it's a long one, but I hope it was informative. Thank you guys oh so much for watching this video, for supporting my content. All right, get this video to 100 likes if you can. I would be very grateful if you did, because that'll show me that you guys enjoy my content and, you know, that you guys want to see more of it. And before we go, of course, I always do this. Thank you to all of our tippers, donors, super chatters. All of you guys are actually feeding my family right now, because I feed my family off content creation. So every little bit helps. Every little bit helps me do more content. And also for our channel members that, you know, they're the monthly people that are supporting the channel. I always give an extra thanks, an extra shout out at the end of videos. So thank you to Death Johnny 982 at Plus Ultra, Rogue Assassin, Old Mr. Cream Puff, Zach NFG at Prestige. Thank you guys so much. For our honored tier robots, thank you so much to the following individuals: Sabingu, AKJ, Lady Neo, Maze, Bob John, Jammer Boy, Joey Danze, Underpaid Enlisted Soldier, A. Ripley, The Mighty Zeno, Daraverse, Cordova, Che D12, I'm Peeps, Syed Assad, Pringle Bread, Tuan Gwen, T King, Coda CMF, Kami SMH, Conrad C, Nate the Great, Corey Ryu, Benjamin Savage. Some of these people have been around for like literally 18 months. Thank you guys so much for everything you've done for me. Thank you to the weird and cool bots as well. I will see you guys on the next video. Y'all stay happy now, alright? And I'll catch you on my Gun Psycher on Monday.